was there. Okay.
Yes. So, all right, let's put up there. Of course.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Um,
Just going to start here.
Good afternoon.
Miss, good afternoon, Miss Williams here. Can I
Yes.
ask a question, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I have another colleague that is willing to join. Can she join and we just pay for the
Good
other
afternoon.
certificates?
No, the workshop is free. If you need a certificate, then you use the link to donate $5 for the certificate, but the workshop is free.
Okay, but can she join?
Oh, yeah, sure. She has to fill out the end of course, end of workshop survey at the end. So for those who want to wait until the end to fill out the end of workshop survey and then do the donation for the certificate, but the workshop is free.
No problem, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, just share the link with her. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sorry to be late. This is
It's one device we'll be using, so that's okay.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, as long as you share the link with her, that's fine.
No problem.
For the things that we will hear later on.
Have them mute, Dr. Dice.
Pardon?
Have them mute.
Oh, yes. If you can mute yourselves, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Dr. Noel Gordon will take over in a little bit. He's the moderator for this evening and for many other evenings as well. This is the STEAM integration in general education classrooms and the Way to Happiness program. All of this just merged together in one big workshop here this evening. And so we want to welcome you. I am, for those of us who are unfamiliar with me, I am Dr. Dwayne Dice, and I am the founder and CEO of Education Solutions International, ESI. And so I want to welcome everybody on the platform and know that you can go visit our website at edusolutionsintl.org and you can get some more information about us. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is live for those of us who will go on there if you follow the link in the program schedule that we have sent to you guys. So anyway, welcome everybody. We're going to get started here because we're actually very, very late for our program. I want to introduce to you two people in our network. They are wonderful people doing work across the Caribbean. Wonderful work, I should say. And one of them is Mr. Gary McGay, and Mr. Gary McGay is from Canada, and he is the one of the leaders in the Way to Happiness program. We also have Dr. Cyrus. Dr. Cyrus is Grenadian by birth and upbringing, and he's living in Canada. He is a dentist. He has his dentist practice in Canada, in Toronto. And both of them are leaders in the Way to Happiness program. And this is a fantastic program that could be merged. When I look at the whole framework of it, it could be merged with restorative practices in our school, but it can also stand alone by itself in schools. And so I'm going to hand over to them in 2 seconds. But I also want you to understand that as they go through the program, it's very interactive. You share as participants in the program this evening so that they can help us examine our practices in the school and also help us to understand how we can deal with disciplinary problems as well as violence in our schools across the Caribbean and Central American region. When they're finished, right after that, we will get to Dr. Noel Gordon will take over and he will introduce Dr. Sherian Demeritus, and she will go through the STEAM integration in general education. It's K-12 general education classroom for the STEAM. So I want to, if you can put your virtual hands together and welcome Gary McGay and Dr. Cyrus. on our program now. I'm going to hand over to them now.
Thanks for the lovely introduction, Dr. Dice.
Yes.
So yeah, just to give you a quick overview, the program is based on a booklet, very small, but it has a set of universal values for today's world that are written in a common sense way, so that when individuals read it, they kind of can internalize the values, understand it from a logical and survival point of view, how that affects their life, how it affects others. And just to give you a quick overview, it covers various areas such as take care of yourself, being temperate, do not take harmful drugs, do not take alcohol to excess, don't be promiscuous. What happens when, what can happen to a family or a relationship when that's violated? Love and help children, honor and help your parents, seek to live with the truth. And it just covers a wide spectrum of universal values that are, when they are looked at and studied and discussed and so forth, the person can actually change their view a little bit. So if you have somebody that's perhaps brought up in a home where there's trouble, or there's crime, or they're brought up in an environment that is not really conducive to positive values, what we find is when the individuals are brought through and educated on these values, they can actually look and think differently about how to conduct their life. So that's in a nutshell what the program is, and you would have to take a look at the book and examine it for yourself just to see how that would fit in. But to give you some examples, in the US, they have a set a good example contest, which is run. That's one of the values in here, how important it is to set a good example in life. And when people do that, it has a broad effect in around their family, their friends, associates, business associates, and so forth. So they have had up to 1 million participants through the schools, where they are doing set a good example contests all throughout the schools. And they just take that one idea and use it to educate the children on that point. So it's a, for example, how Dr. Cyrus and I use this in Grenada is we actually go down to the prison down there, and we spend a week with about 20 inmates at a time. And we take them through the booklet. There's a video that goes through every single point of the booklet and brings it to life, which is very good for the some of the inmates whose literacy levels are low. And then we have discussions back and forth. So we spend a week with them. And at the end of it, there are changes in how they are looking at life and how they're thinking about life. And the changes can be minor, or sometimes they can be major, and it really depends on the person. It's for example, we had one person who was, we thought was a dud. He's in the program, didn't say a thing all week long, never said hello, never smiled, sat at the back of the room, did nothing, and we figured nothing had happened. When we came back 3 months later to do another program, one of the guards told us that that man was a joy to have in the prison. He was a model prisoner. He was now in charge of the athletic program for the prison. And prior to him doing the program, the Way to Happiness program, he had been in solitary confinement for the better part of 6 years. So for that individual, there's a dramatic change. And it just, what we have found with the the booklet is it has an impact on the lives of people. And if they've had a rough upbringing or their set of values has been determined by the kids that they're hanging around with, they're at school, but they're hanging around with a bad crowd at school, and that's where they're getting their values from, this can help that person rethink their approach to life. And it's been used in various areas actually to reduce the violence in communities where there has been serious trouble, and there's a distribution in New York City, for example, in the Bronx right now, which is where somebody has been actively working with the community, working with this program to help bring down some of the violence and bring down some of the trouble in the community. So it's a tool that can be used. And what we would like to get, after we've sort of briefed a little bit on this, is get some idea of what difficulties or violence or disciplinary problems in schools, and because these young people come into your schools and they can come from whatever background, and you are, as educators, you have these people within your classroom, and how do you deal with some of these issues? Do you feel that there's any hope to be able to change some of the attitudes? How to approach this? This booklet is non-religious. It's a common sense guide, so it doesn't cut across anywhere in that area. It does talk about respecting the religious beliefs of others as an important point of life, but it has a great potential, we think, to be used within the schools to help those students already who know what their values are. It kind of reaffirms what they believe, what they know to be right and what to be true, and it just gives them a greater stability of being able to handle peer pressure. If people are trying to influence them into doing unethical or activities, they find that they have their own values and their own look at life reinforced by the contents of the booklet. So that's in a nutshell. Maybe Dr. Cyrus can chip in here and give another perspective, if that would help.
Well, hello, good evening, everyone. I am driving, so that's why you're not seeing my face there already. But the thing is, what I think the main reason for the success of the booklet is that the precepts it covers all different aspects of life. Like it starts off with taking care of yourself, then it gets on to the, relationship with parents, with children, with others with regard to stealing, with others with regard to how would you like to be treated. You treat the other people the same way, etc. So what we find in the prison is that once we've gone through the entire booklet from beginning to end, and I ask the guys in the prison how they feel, and they talk about feeling so much better and having such a different viewpoint, etc. And I ask them, well, which one of the precepts really caused that change? They can't tell me. They say just all of them. And that is because all of them make up life. So it changes that viewpoint on life, changes the viewpoint on what responsibility they have for the other people in their lives, for example. Because maybe as a child, someone might have been pushing one life precept, I guess, like if you're a kid and you had a tendency to steal the neighbor's mangoes or something, they were pushing, oh, don't steal, don't steal, don't steal, but they don't get into the other aspects of, well, how would you feel if somebody came and stole your pet chicken or your pet dog or whatever it is? So as we go through the booklet, it gives them more of a view of others apart from themselves. So I think it would be very successful with the children as well as it is. Well, we did use it at the Juvenile Detention Center in Grenada as well with the young kids there. And they learned quite a lot from it, you know, as it caused a lot of discussion with regard to why they were there and their viewpoint on whether they thought they should be there or not and all of that, you know. It created a lot of discussion, and I think it will do the same in your school. So I think that's about all that I have to say about it. You would see for yourselves, I guess, once you get to view some of the videos and the booklets, you would be able to see for yourselves how it could help. There's actually a teacher's guide that comes with the package that they would send to you. And it actually lays out the lessons for you, how long the lessons would take, what you need for the lesson, and lays out step by step how you go through the lesson on any specific precept. So everything is laid out for you, so you don't have to go home and sit down at night trying to create material for your next class. All the classes are laid out in that book, and it was tested and everything else to make sure that it works well. So that's about it for me.
Yeah, we work closely. There's an international foundation called the Way to Happiness Foundation International, which is based in Glendale, California, and they have the rights for the publishing of the book, but they're involved in so many different programs really around the world where they try to support or help. They have what's called an educator's kit, and Dwayne, I sent you by WhatsApp a PDF with the link to obtain one of these kits. The kit contains copies of the booklet. It contains public service announcements that highlight, they're very short, but really communicate like love and help children, honor and help your parents, each of the values that are contained in the booklet. And then it has as well the full video. And the video is a word for word rendition. It's like an audio book, except it's done in a way with real life characters, and you get to follow these characters through life, and you see the pitfalls that they go through, but it's all based on providing visuals and storylines to make it much easier for young people or for anybody really to understand the booklet better. So it's used in conjunction with the booklet. All that is contained in one of these educators' kits. And the foundation has made it a big part of their mandate to try to get these kits into the hands of teachers who would like to involve themselves in this program, would like to try to address some of the moral issues or ethical issues or discipline issues or trouble issues with students. And it's not just the troubled students, it's the ones that are doing well and are ethical. This booklet and the whole program reinforces their sense of proper behavior, honesty, and so forth like that, and actually proofs them up against some of the influences. And there are a lot of negative influences in today's world. So So this kit is available. And, if I could share it on the screen, or Dwayne, I did send you a PDF copy of it. There it is there. The So if you wanted to order the kit, and if it's something that you're honestly look at, these are rather expensive kits, but the Way to Happiness Foundation International is really, really committed to helping reach the young people, and teachers are so instrumental in providing guidance and setting a good example for their students, that it's a wonderful program working with educators. So that link is a form that you would fill out and explain why you're interested in the kit, what's involved. The foundation will send this to you free of charge, and which is part of the foundation's work. And then if you have any specific questions, there's a email for Dr. Cyrus and our team, drcyrus@gmail.com. If you just wanted more information about it, before ordering a kit, or if you have any questions, you can email us, and we'd be happy to reply and provide whatever information we can. Then the other part, we'd like to hear, if possible, what are you running into in your classrooms, or what issues? Is there a lot of violence? Is there, not in all schools, obviously, but in some areas there may be. We think this would be a very valuable tool for you to use. It could open the door to helping to relieve that. It's not going to, handle everything, but if things can be improved, and this is what we find is one person gets influenced, and then they influence another. We had one of the inmates in the Grenada prison, for example, who excuse me, did the program. He had 666 tattooed across his forehead. Nothing. He was just negative about the whole thing. But one of the other inmates just stayed with him and said, no, this is good. Look at it, for weeks, and kept on. And then finally, the other fellow just said, "You're right." And he just changed, around his viewpoint, that from trouble to maybe life could be more happier, and he could survive better and have actual friends, and treat people well, and so forth like that. And every time we go down there, he tries to jump in on the program again with us. So it does have an effect. There's lots of resources available, and we'd love to find out what it looks like on the ground, if you can give us some feedback.
All right, so everyone, if you can drop in the chat, what type of disciplinary issues that you have in your school right now, in your classrooms, anything that comes to mind, how students are behaving, mostly how you are, like some of the things that you're experiencing among your students. We can put that in the chat. And then we have like another 3 minutes, Gary, three minutes before we switch here.
Yeah, the book's called The Way to Happiness.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. You've got in the chat. You got the link. Thank you.
Yeah, I dropped the resources in the chat for people.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Make use of them. So, okay.
Very okay. Very unsettled and disruptive. I honestly know. Wow. Okay. Okay. Vulgarity with the girls. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I really think this is something that you would find very useful to start changing attitudes over a period of time. Okay? And please share again, Jennifer Richards. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys need to order the kit. Okay. It's like, these are all things. Oh wow. Okay.
So you're saying, Gary, that there is a YouTube channel that they can watch videos on, or a website?
If they go to the Way to Happiness International website, there's the public service announcements I know are on there. They'll get a very good idea of what the programs are, the types of programs, like that. Okay. Okay, like all these, these are great comments in the chat in terms of what you're running into. Totally understand it. Yeah, okay. So I would, what happens with the young people, and as they go through this, they actually start to change their attitudes and the way they look at things, because if, for example, they're being very disrespectful, well, what are they doing underneath that? Are they telling lies? Are they, you know what I mean? Are they doing damaging actions? And it's these non-survival actions that start to bring about these negative attitudes. And when they start to see that and actually get educated and are able to have a different look at life, that's when you get the changes. And the changes occur internally. It's not because somebody's beating them or telling them this or whatever like that. They get to understand it for themselves and make their own decisions about it. And then it's a lifetime result, because now it's their look and they've changed, not because anybody's beaten them into it or thrown them into prison or anything like that. They themselves have embraced these changes. Okay, I think that's, you've got other things to get to, and I really appreciate your time, Dr. Dice,
Yes.
for this, and everybody for sharing this. This is very good to look at.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Gary. And thank you, Dr. Cyrus, for being on. Always a pleasure talking to you about this, and see if we can assist in building our young people to a more purposeful and balanced life.
Yeah, and let's see where we can go with it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we have more for everybody on the call here, the program. We do have more encounters in the future, so you can tune into the network, and we're gonna have more information, more even on examples of how it works and so on. So look out for that. This is just a snippet and a soft introduction to it, or we can assist with helping behavioral and indiscipline problems. It could even help with executive functioning skills as well in the school setting. Thank you so much, Dr. Cyrus.
Thank you.
I know yes, go on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I guess
No
we'll talk some in the future, as you said.
Oh, yes, definitely. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Dr. Noel Gordon. Dr. Noel Gordon, everybody, is the CAO, the Chief Academic Officer here at Education Solutions International, and his dear friend, Dr. Sherian Demeritus. She is bubbling with ideas to share with you guys, and I'm going to hand over to Dr. Noel Gordon. Dr. Gordon, what's happening over there? Oh, you can unmute. All right, there you go. You can go ahead now. I'm gonna hand over to you because you're the man of the man of the show this evening.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So can you hear me?
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Yes, I almost panicked a while ago. I couldn't get it unmuted. You were holding me hostage.
You're very funny.
Well, thank you
All
all
right.
for your patience. Thank you for your patience. And technology sometimes it has its ups and its downs, but we can't do without it. We are so excited. Thank you, gentlemen, for that resource that you have introduced to us. And I'm sure that our participants are going to be making use of this opportunity. So I'm excited to have, and I'm not going to take long to give the introduction because I want to give her all the time in the world. We're going to be talking about STEAM and STEM, STEAM. The bottom line is sometimes you're of the impression that it's a huge program. We have to get all kinds of resources. We're going to have to build a new wing on our building, et cetera, et cetera. Dr. Demetrius is going to be bringing some clarity to that. But let me just quickly tell you who this esteemed professional is. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sherry-Ann Demetrius, a distinguished educator and author from Falmouth, Trelawney, Jamaica. Dr. Demetrius has dedicated her career to education, earning degrees from the University of the West Indies, my alma mater also, Nova Southeastern University, my alma mater also, and Barry University, where she completed her doctorate in curriculum and instruction with a specialization in reading and language cognition. She's widely recognized for outstanding contributions to education and has received numerous awards, including the Channel 4 Golden Apple Award and Teacher of the Year honors. She currently serves as chair for the Jamaica Diaspora Action Network Early Childhood Sector Task Force and has presented and facilitated professional development workshops for educators both locally and internationally. Dr. Demetrius is deeply committed to youth development and educational growth. And through her leadership and service, she continues to make a meaningful impact in education and in her community. Please join me in welcoming esteemed presenter and my great friend, Dr. Sherry-Ann Demetrius. Dr. Demetrius.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, 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 everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to share with you this afternoon. I know we are off to a late start, but I promise that as I go through this afternoon, you will receive some useful tips, some information that you probably is familiar with, but you needed to be reminded about. And so it is indeed my pleasure to welcome you, especially as we think of celebrating International Women's History Month. Isn't that appropriate to have a woman speaking about a concept that affects a woman? So what I want to do today is to help you redefine what STEAM integration is and why it requires sometimes a change in your mindset. I would also like to walk you down the pathway of understanding what is required to embed a STEAM approach across your curriculum. And that may consist of their classroom, to the school, and then at the district level. I would like to answer the question as to what is your role in terms of collaboration to make it a reality, STEAM. And I would like you to identify resources within your building that are there ready for you to use. So as we think today, I want to talk a little bit about what you might know or what you may need to know. And I want to start to focus on what is often referred to as the gender gap. Now let's talk some numbers. You know, we often say as researchers that we can use a number to tell our own story, but the numbers that I'm sharing with you today is a real deal. It is said that about 50% of women earn a science or an engineering degree, yet they're still underrepresented in the field. And if my second grade maths is correct, If 50% of women are earning that degree, that means we should have about 50% of women in the field, but that's not so. As we look at the degrees that are being offered in the college and the graduates, we want to look at it in terms of engineering, and we see that we have women at about 24%. Then in computer science, there's about 22% of women graduating with that degree, and 24% of women in physics. As the kids often say, this is not mathing, or the math is not adding up. So what is our best bet? The numbers tell the story. Girls and women remain underrepresented in the STEM or the STEAM classroom. And the difference between STEM and STEAM is just that A, and the A represents the arts. So, my little fingers are happy. Let me go back. So I will say to you, what's your role in getting this gender gap really investigated and changed? There's an organization that is called the National Girls Collaborative Project that comes out with a yearly report. In that report that you can see in front of you, and you can get that on the internet too, it says over the past 10 years, the number of women in STEM or STEAM workforce has grown to 31%. But yet still we say there are about 50% of individuals who are women who have graduated with these degrees. So where is that 20-something or 19%? Still, they do believe that the data is not so bad, because between 2017 and 2023, the number of Black, Latino, and Native American women earning computer degrees have more than doubled. So it might look gloomy at the beginning, but if we dig a little deeper, we'll see what the true story is. And if you are a storyteller, I know you want to hear what the true fact is. I must tell you that girls and young women do well in math and science. So what's preventing them from demanding or taking over this field, or even have a higher percentages of them in the field? So as we often look at our problem and look for solutions, we often encourage or talk about what the barriers are. And one of the main barriers that I want to talk about this evening has to do with societal stereotypes and gender biases. This has created a significant challenge for women pursuing careers in the science and technology field. We know this. So the question is, what are we doing about it? Because oftentimes we are aware of the problem, we know there's a solution, but are we making those steps that will change or bring about the change that we're looking for? So as we think about what's happening in our schools, the question is, what does this look like in terms of our course, of our students or girls in the classroom? And one of the things that comes to mind is the whole idea of course steering. What is that, you may ask? It is a fact that most girls are often encouraged away from pursuing harder courses like physics, calculus, and mathematics. And if I think back to my high school years, I remember I was in physics. And I don't know if my mom knew better than what I know now, but I always score a C. And when I look back and reflect, I'm thinking that if I just had an extra person, that tutor, that person would have helped me, I know I would have scored better in physics because I was doing well in biology. I could do well in mathematics, but I just need that extra support. Are we giving our girls the support that will help them to excel? So society often tells us too, by the messages they send out, that STEAM is not for girls. Today, we want to debunk that. We know the girls, and we think about girls' power, and we know that we can do it just like the boys do. Now, this is not about boys versus girls, but we have to be strong in our thoughts, in our processes, and be very, very determined to make the change that is so necessary. So I think of that a change is coming, and it's going to start right in that classroom that you're sitting in, right in that building that you go to each day to teach, right in that space where your influence should be felt. So I want you to think about your current situation. Think about whether or not you practice intentional planning. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Do you have in your building interdisciplinary collaboration? Is science speaking to math? Is math speaking to reading? How about history? What are they saying to each other? And the next thing I want you to consider is, what instructional strategies am I promoting in my classroom that helps to build critical thinking, that helps to build creativity and problem solving? Asking those yes and no questions is not going to cut it. It takes those deep critical thinking skills that will help our ladies become more involved in STEAM. These strategies, you might say, doesn't require a lot from me because I'm a good teacher. I know how to ask questions. I know how to build critical thinking skills. I know how to build creativity. I know how to lead my students to problem solve. And my question is, when was the last time you did that? Are you intentional in your work so that these skills can be encouraged with our girls? If your answer to any of those questions, I'm not intentionally planning, is no, you need to join the change train. And I call it the change train because it's moving. It's all it's saying to you is hop on board. And when you're up on board, you become a part of that force that will bring about the change we're looking for. We often say, and we know, that our schools are drivers of change. What does that look like? If you're going to become a driver of change and be a part of that change train, then you must look closely at the curriculum reform. And you might say, I can do that. That's the district. You have to be that voice. Your voice is important. Dr. Knowles' voice is important. Dr. Dice's voice is important as you speak of what you intend to see in your classroom and the changes that can be generated in your classroom. So I am going to beg of you to integrate what is often referred to as the gender-responsive STEAM or STEM practices in the classroom. We're going to talk some more about that too. You can look at mentorship program. Connect your girls with all those STEAM or STEM professionals within your community. Where are the ladies who fly those planes? Who are the builders of bridges? Who works on the construction site? Who are in the labs creating those medications that are making us feeling better? And as you do that, Create spaces where girls have experience on hands-on labs, where they're able to build, they're able to code, and they're able to experiment. It's not a sit and get classroom anymore. We must change how we deliver our instruction. Develop a classroom where there's inclusive, so that the boys feel welcome and the ladies in the classroom feel welcome. Foster a classroom where every voice is valued and respected. Very, very important. And as you go through each day, look for situations, look for pointers, look for those places where you can celebrate your female student achievement as well as with the young men in the classroom. So that the girls did well today, celebrate them. The male did well today, celebrate them. So celebration becomes a part of your awards and your showcase of your students' development. Ensure that it's equal access to the internet, to the use of digital tools. They often say that equal doesn't mean that everybody's going to get the same thing. What you want to do is to find out what the needs are and to ensure that you're addressing those needs. So let's pick these apart. I want to connect intentional planning, which I think is a driving force with the changes that we're looking for. Remember that change train we spoke about earlier on? So let's think about looking at inquiry-based learning, incorporating hands-on activities, integrating subjects naturally. And we're going to talk about that because I think that's a very important and a very reflective and a very useful strategies that we tend to move away from. Think about using real-world problems as we discuss with our students. We want to use the engineering processes, and we're going to talk about that because I think that's so cool. And we also want to make sure that there is some routine that takes place. It's not a one-time thing. You can't do it today and not do it tomorrow. It has to be continuous so that our students will benefit. So let's look at my first point and start with inquiry-based learning. So it is given the students that opportunity to dig deeper. Therefore, you have to design your lessons around questions instead of just content delivery. What does that look like? We're not going to take our science book and tell the kids, or especially the girls, to go and read page 9. No. We are going to be intentional in our planning so that we are going to go through that material and we're going to look to see what the lessons should do if I want to develop those skills that will help my student to be critical thinkers and at the same time to use that mind to think through the process. You want to encourage those girls to be curious, have them ask questions. Why did this happen? How can I solve this problem? I'm not going to say to them the world is round, because that's a fact they can find in the book. How can I discover that the world is really round? What will I do? What are some of the thinking that will go through that? So, for example, if you're teaching in mathematics fractions, don't just say 1 quarter plus 1 quarter equals 2 quarters. You can take numbers, a group of items, or you can take a pie. You can divide it up into quarters, and then you can demonstrate how that is done. And that kind of learning can begin in the preschool and the kindergarten classroom, because now the students start learning how to think and how to problem solve. So building those skills become very, very important as we build those inquiry-based learning strategies or skills. This, I think, is one of my favorite ones, because I remember a time when I taught second grade, and after they had finished their second grade exam, I turned my classroom into a rainforest one year. In that rainforest, we learned to read, we learned science, we did mathematics, we did arts and craft, we baked, we made t-shirts, and that was authentic learning. So educators, I'm telling you that you have to look for some ways and some creative ways of making the content connect to each other. Think about reading in science. You already have to teach for reading informational texts. What a cool way to design your lesson so that the article that the students will read, that piece of informational text, will connect with what you're doing in science. Magic, not extra work. Think about math and art. You could explore patterns. You can look at symmetry, or you can look at design. So they can design a building and build it with craft sticks. There you go. Learning is integrated, not segmented. Think about writing and engineering. Explain the design process. For example, the students can write about, say they're doing the story of Matilda, and kids love that story. The kids in that classroom could design a new classroom for Miss Honey. That's combining engineering and art. For math, they can talk about measurement. They can identify the difference between height, width. They can find areas, they can find perimeters. There's a lot of things they can do. And then for writing, they can do the step-by-step process that they involve in getting their project done. That's integrating science without creating subjects naturally, without creating a fuss. I don't know if you like to create a fuss, but I don't. I like to do it nice and easy. Get it done. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do also is real-world problem. Solving real-world problem creates opportunities for your students to tackle authentic challenges. I remember I think I must have been in elementary school, I used to say, what am I going to do with this? Will this be valuable to me in my adult life? And so when I asked myself those questions, I was wondering, how relevant is what I was learning to what I will be doing as an adult? Now, it is said that the students that we're teaching now, we're preparing them for jobs that we don't even know what it will look like, that workforce. AI came in and changed the whole game, and some of us panicked. But how are we supporting our girls in embracing AI and using it to solve real-world problems? So let's think about our classroom. In your classroom every day, your garbage can is full of paper. Someone rips the page out, they toss it in there, and you look at it and you say to your classroom, this is wasting paper. We are killing a tree. And you say to them, what's the best way to solve this problem? They're thinking, they're applying something that is in real world, and they can develop a system and write about it and talk about it, about how they can reduce the waste in the classroom. The same thing, the school that needs a new playground. What should that playground look like? Have those young ladies design the playground. Share it with your administrator. This is what builds critical thinking skills and shows relevancy between what's happening in the real world and their classroom. So that also runs into what we call hands-on activities. It says that STEAM thrives when students do rather than listen. Have them engage. And you're not going to listen only this afternoon. I'm going to have you engage too. So wait up, your turn is coming. Have them do something. Science, simple experiments or demonstration will get you there. Start building that thinking. Start building those strategies. Have the students in engineering build models, build bridges, towers. You know how easy it is for students to get paper, roll it, make columns, create bridges, see how much weight the bridge can hold by putting textbooks or things or their phones on top of it to see how much weight it can take. Use manipulatives and visual models to help your students. The internet is full of models that you can use to teach. Your whole idea is to create diagrams and posters that will help your lesson become more meaningful to your students. So one of the processes that I also love too, this one is kind of a baby to me, but I really love it, is the use of engineering processes. And it's ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. How does that process read? So the first thing you're going to ask the question is the problem. What is the problem? We want to design a playground for our school. We're going to build our imagination. We're going to think through that. What should it look like? We can put our ideas together, and then we can come up with a design. Next, we're going to create a plan. How are we going to build this playground using, what's our plan? What are we going to do first? Next, what are we going to do last? And the next thing you're going to do is put in all those ideas to create a model playground. Then you're going to test it. Maybe you run a couple marbles down it to see how well it works. You put some books on it to see how much weight you can take. And you think that through. And as you think that through and you come up on the problems, then you're going to look for, how can I improve my model? And this is a good time for you to allow each students to work in group, to collaborate, the same practices that you should be doing with your grade levels or with the other people in the other subject area. What this does, it builds structure, it builds resilience among your students, and it builds their problem-solving skills. So this, again, I said, cannot be done at one time. This is not a one-hit wonder. It takes time, it takes practice. So I don't want to walk into your school and see that STEAM is seen just as a special activity. So on my calendar on a Friday, I have a special activity, and that's considered my STEAM activity. No way, Jose. We want to make sure this is integrated in our thinking and in our daily instruction. So it can be a 10 or 15 minutes challenge each day. Or it can be a weekly problem-solving task where students go through those steps I just described. It must be consistent way of approaching the instruction for our girls. Remember, we are building in them that skill and a desire to want to go into the STEAM career. So I want you to do a little thinking for me. And you're going to use the chat to respond. So think of a lesson that you recently taught. It could be reading, math, science, art. How could you have turned that lesson into a STEAM challenge? It could be a lesson this week. the past week, and I'm going to ask 2 people to share. So Dr. Dice, we're going to look for the first 2 persons who put their hand up. Think about a lesson you recently taught, and how do you think you could have turned that into a STEAM challenge? I give you a minute to think through, and then you can raise your hand. Sorry, I don't have any music, but let's pretend that something nice is playing, so that it gives you an opportunity to reflect. And in the meantime, Dr. Noel, I don't know if you can set up for rooms for me. If not, when I get into my next activity.
Go ahead, Dr. Dice. He'll take care of that for us.
Yeah, how many, I thought how many rooms you want? It's 80 something.
Yeah, 85.
You want about 10 rooms?
Yeah.
10, okay. Sounds good. I don't see anybody yet in the chat.
Okay. Come on. Who want to raise your hand? I want to hear from you. Think about something you taught recently. Think about making that connection. So there's a little bit of math, a little bit of science, a little bit of art, and engineering are all mixed up. Okay. Look at Miss Davies or Mr. Davis. Tosca? Okay.
Hi.
Go ahead and speak that piece.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Recently, I had an incident in my class. Well, one of my classes, it was grade K, and the students are 5 years old. And 2 of them actually left the school compound instead of waiting on their parents. They left the school compound, and they were walking for probably about an hour before they were picked up by the police.
Oh.
Yes. That was an unfortunate incident. However, I was not at school at that time. And what happened was that one student told the other student that his parents had died. So the other student told him, well, okay, since you have no parents now, you will have to come and live with me. So the both of them took their bags and left the school compound, and they walked like two villages across. So they were walking for a whole hour, about an hour and a half. To them, they were just, on their merry way. They were holding hands, like how we normally teach children to hold their hands.
Yes.
They held each other's hands, walk on the it was a highway, so the highway was very busy, 4 o'clock traffic. So they were holding hands on their merry way in their conversations and everything, not a care in the world. It just so happened that driver spotted them, so they alerted the police, and a police van picked them up. Upon picking them up, the police officers were questioning them and so on, and again, still to no care in the world. So when the police officers reached into our town, making their way to the police station, they passed by our stadium, our national stadium. So one child said, "Officer, can you put us down there, please? Because we have to go and play our sports." So the officers and them were taken aback, and it's like, what are these children talking about? He said, yes, officer, we have to go in there and run our race. So the officer is like, okay, you know what that place is for, because you are telling me put you down there for you to go and run your race. Fast forward to that, their parents came to pick them up and everything at the station. But just before that, when they reached by our botanical gardens, one of the other students said, "Officer, put us down in the gardens because we have some stuff for us to go and do in the gardens." That's our botanical gardens. That was just before the police station. So fast forward to that, the parents picked them up and everything. I guess they scolded them at home. And, right away for the past 2 weeks, I have been incorporating into my HFLA lesson, even my math everything as any lesson as possible. Any lesson that I have, I am getting on with road safety with them, caring for one
Yes,
another.
a social science.
Yes, social science, HFLE as well. We caring for one another, teaching them
Yes.
about the road
So
safety.
health science.
I actually brought them back out onto the road after we had done the lesson in one of the lessons in the classroom. I actually brought them out on the road for them to practice their road safety, and
Yes.
they brought back that very incident that happened between two of them.
So
And it's just so amazing. And you know, every time I look at these two children, they are 5 years old for true, and there's so much innocence in them and so on. But the main takeaway, when the police questioned them, the one boy said, "Officer, he's my friend, and he told me his parents died, so I invited him for him to stay with me and my parents."
taking care of each other. So we see community there. We see
Yes.
collaboration. We see social science, knowing the places in the community, and the way you've been using it in your classroom. I say more power to you. Thank you. Is there anyone who have taught something who want to share? All right. So I had an experience last week that I want to share with you. So as you heard before, I went to Jamaica. And when I went to Jamaica, I visited my primary school. I sat there and I cried. I cried because the tree that I sat under that provided shade, that provided food, that created a community for me as a kid was no longer there because Hurricane Melissa had taken it away. And the picture I'm showing you right there in front of you is a picture of where that tree once stood. Right there, you see the kids standing around a cistern. That's where we drank water. But you know what was happening there? A teacher had taken her class out. There were boys there and there were girls. And she took them outside as she taught a lesson on sinking and floating. I was blown away. Because I did not ask her permission, I cannot share her voice. But she led, I sat there and I listened to her leading her kids to discover the property of objects that sink and objects that float. And all that was taking place right in the cistern from where the kids drink water. I say to you that it doesn't take a mountain of objects, a mountain of new things to teach STEAM in your classroom and to get your girls involved in it. I'm not asking you to add more to your plate. All I'm asking you, in order to get our girls more involved in this learning process, is to teach differently with what you already have. Your challenge and your charge is to make small shifts, like adding a problem-solving task or integrating art into mathematics. By doing that, you can transform a boring lesson, into a STEAM experience for your girls. Remember, you're trying to build the appreciation for the STEAM. So I told you what I saw in Falmouth All-Age School. And now I want you to do a little job for me. This is what your breakout room activity will be. You're going to design your school STEAM future plan. Think about the girls in your school. Step one, you're going to map your resources. What do you have in your building that you can use? I am not sending you out to buy anything because you're going to tell me you have no money. So you're going to look at what can I get from my industrial partners? Where can I identify a females STEAM champion? What can I get from my community and my funding source? Then in step two, you're going to use those resources to create a plan, an action plan, I want to call it, as to what you want to do. So in order to do that, you're going to give it a name. You're going to tell me what grade level is going to be involved in that. And you're going to work it out in your group. Step three, in your group, the last thing you're going to do, okay, you're going to have about, can I give them 10 minutes to work? Dr. Dice?
Yes,
Yes,
sure, sure.
that's good.
Okay.
Dr. Noel.
Dr. Noel. So in the step three, you're going to create a 60-second elevator speech to tell me about your STEAM plan for your girls in your school. Okay? So you're going to have three things. Now, in front of you, and I hope it works, I have a Padlet. If you take your phone and put it on that QR code, open it up to your camera, it will take you to the Padlet. Once you get into your room, you're going to find out one person who's going to add to the Padlet. And that person will also, you will decide if that person will do the 60-minute speech or they're just going to be adding to the Padlet. I am going to move over to the Padlet. I'm going to share that so you can see your activity. So you're going to take one sticky, going to add one response to step one response to step two, and one response to step three. So at this time, I'm going to invite you to take your phones and do the QR code, scan the QR code. And this is a good thing for you to use in your classroom, where you're teaching science, you're teaching reading or math. Got it? Because pretty soon, Dr. Dice is going to move you into your rooms. So you're going to practice collaboration in there. In your room, you're going to practice collaboration. You may not know the people or the individuals that are in that room, but you're going to pretend that you're making one school plan. So each group, I'll have about 10 plans. All righty. You can move them, Dr. Dice. Please click on the join button to join.
And Dr. Gardner and yourself, Dr. Sharon, you can bounce around in the rooms.
Yes.
Yes.
Please start moving when you get a join. I am going to stop share, then find a Padlet.
People who are still needing to join, please join the room. Just as Dr. Sharon said, click on the join on your screen. Click on the join button on your screen.
I'm not seeing my join
Oh no, you
link.
didn't get any.
You didn't get
any.
place. You can move around.
You
Okay.
can move around, yes. Just go into the room. Just join a room and then you can exit the room itself. Just don't exit yourself out.
200,000 to 300,000 kilometers.
Dr. Dice, can you see the Padlet?
Yeah, I think I see it.
You see it on my, but now I don't see it.
It's gone. I just saw it.
All right, let me go back. Share. It's here.
Okay, I'm seeing everything.
Can you see the Padlet now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to a room. Dr. Dice,
Yes.
can you see the Padlet?
Oh,
Because
yes, I can.
I want to go into the rooms, but I don't see the rooms anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's at the bottom with the round little circle where it says more.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think they're
Okay.
breakout rooms.
yes. Wonder if Dr. Gordon, you want me to put you in one of the rooms to bounce around? Let me assign you one of them.
Let me join. I'm going into one, so put them in something else.
Okay. All right, so Dr. Gordon,
Oh, you know what? I don't want to go away because if I go, it's gonna get out my
Yeah,
screen
your
share.
screen is gonna stop. Yeah, it's gonna stop
Okay.
sharing.
And I want to
Um,
watch them. Can you go into the rooms and just
yeah,
make
yeah,
sure
man.
that they're adding to the
The Padlet.
question? Yes.
All right, so let's go back in there.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna
Because
go.
the thing I told them how to add the sticky, but I was hoping that they know.
Yeah, or maybe they will add the comment. Click on the comment little part,
Come
right?
and add it.
We'll see what they come up with.
Okay. Where's the Lindsay? She's outside. Tell her to come because I don't see it.
Mama, Grandma, leave me. Mommy, Grandma, leave me. Okay.
I can see they're adding.
Oh, yes, they're at it. I'm jumping around. They're
Yeah.
getting.
It'll get 10 minutes more for it though.
Hey, Grandma,
Yes?
come.
No, I'm good.
Mhm.
Oh, God. Mommy, she good. Mommy.
Hmm.
Hi, good night to the host. I was placed in group 6, but I got kicked out because my internet went down. Can you please help me to rejoin?
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can put you back in that room. Okay, breakout rooms. You should be working on your elevator speech now. Is this scenario want to move to 6? She's not.
All right, I'm gonna close them.
Okay.
I was in one of the rooms getting lost in conversation and sharing.
All right. So you can go ahead and close them and so they can come back.
Okay, they're coming back.
Okay.
All right, I think you can pick up there.
All right, guys. Thank you for working so diligently in your rooms. I will gonna ask you to go ahead and mute yourselves. As you come back, please mute yourself so we can complete the conversation. All right. So first question was for you to look at your resources. So I'm going to ask room 1, I think. Claudia Hunter. Claudia.
I don't know if
Unmute yourself,
everybody's
please.
back. It doesn't seem as if everybody's back. I don't know.
No.
It appears that way.
Yeah, because we only have 64 people there.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody is back. Yes.
Everybody's back
Everybody's
now?
back? Okay.
Yes.
All
Some
right. So those who are back, where is Claudia Hunter? Claudia, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm gonna talk through what I see in the resources that Claudia has listed. She looked at Digicel as a partner. The female STEM champion she has is Dr. Simone Badal. Community space. She's looking at the Jamaica Library.
So you can see it.
They can see it?
No, go ahead. Yeah, you can see it. Everybody can.
Jamaica Library Service. And the funding source is the National Commercial Bank. So they give NCB. Yeah, there goes my dollar working. And they often fund projects. So Claudia, are you available to give us your 1 minute, 60-second speech?
She put a message that she's having some challenges with her microphone.
Okay, thank you. So is there anyone from our group who can give the speech about your STEM project for your girls? All right, I'm going to move on to another in the essence of time and to another group. Tanisha? Tanisha or Miss Grant?
Good evening, everyone. Miss Grant here.
Thank you, Miss Grant. Tell us about your project.
All right. My group members will also be sharing, so I will not be doing this all by myself.
Okay, ma'am.
Is that okay? Thank you. So we're looking at a local drink company. Since many of our schools, the students have drinks, so we're looking at using the plastic bottles. So one of our partner is to partner with these same local drink companies. So we don't basically have to buy the bottles, we get them. So you probably ask the company for concessions. So instead of us purchasing the drink at school for, let's say, whatever price they sell, they can sell it back to us at a half price, since we will also be recycling the bottles that they, sell their product in. Female STEM champions, we're looking at Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, and we have just outlined just a few stuff that makes her our female STEM champion. We have two. So she promotes technologies in school, and she actually supports programs that encourage girls to, be involved in science and technology. We also use Dr. Marcia Roy. She's improving agricultural practices and helping farmers to fight plant disease, which basically is to help end hunger. All right. Community Space is a primary school. Funding source, we look at the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of, Member of Parliament, and of course, our parents to buy
Very
in.
good. A good resource, the
buy
parents.
in to our program, right? My other teammates.
Yeah, so are we looking about the Thursday?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
So the Thursday we would have a small discussion with our students about recycling and the meaning and instead of wasting bottles, what can we do with them? Like brainstorming basically.
Okay.
And then the next day we will have the collecting of the bottles. We'll go around with a group of students, where we'll give them the number that they would be looking for. So every group will have a number of bottles that they have to collect. My group member would continue the rest. One of my group members.
So in that, you can get mathematics as they count how many bottles they have. They can check the weight of the bottles.
Yeah, per group.
You can look at the dimensions of the bottles.
Yes.
Right, and how many they will need to make each of
Each
whatever
project.
they're making.
Yes.
Right.
So they're doing estimating, testing, measurement. Very good. How about the writing? What would writing look like in that project?
So they'll be keeping a check of what they are doing, the process that they are going through. So
very good.
They write what they would have done, they brainstormed and all of that. They too collect bottles. Today we collected 100 bottles. We think that this can make 5, so on, so on, so.
Yes.
So writing. So as the process continues, they are keeping a journal of what they're doing.
Love it, love
That's what
it,
the writing
love it. Love it, love it. Is Miss Hunter ready to speak? Or do we have another group who want to talk? I can take one more group.
Can you take group 5?
I can take group 5. Go ahead.
Okay. So do I have to call our group members' name?
No.
Okay. So for our female STEM champion, we have Carvel Hilton. She has been a STEM advocate in robotics and program design. The community space we would have used is the Montego Bay Conventional Center.
Okay.
Fundraising source, Fontana Pharmacy. Fontana Pharmacy. And our industry partner, sorry, would be Digicel.
Okay.
All right. And for our program, we were thinking of designing something that the children, that it can become beneficial to them in the future, so that whilst they are doing it now, well, it will become beneficial to them in the future. So we would try to create a comprehensive program integrating STEM curriculum guidelines, utilizing open learning resources and specialized STEM kits to connect students with the construction industry.
Construction, yes.
Yes. So they would be able to create 3D models of structures, build small scale bridges or homes, and study the environmental impact of constructional materials. Being able to use the materials are available in the environment, especially we know in the Caribbean we have a lot of disasters coming our way, and sometimes they are very bad. So,
Yes.
being able to use the materials that are readily available in our environment, it would be able to help them prepare for the future.
Very good. I like how detailed that is. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
As you talk about the construction field and what the kids can do, there was a little girl at Bogue Hill All Age School when I was in Jamaica a couple of weeks ago. And one of the interesting things that I asked, because that's the first school that I did my internship, my teaching practice. And as I spoke with the students there, I asked one young lady what she wanted to be. I said, my first question was, who wants to be a teacher? We had a few people who raised their hands. So there's this young lady who was standing next to me, and I asked her, what would she like to be? And she said, I want to be a construction worker. And I looked at her with a big smile and I asked her why. And she said, because the hurricane took my roof and I could fix my roof if I was a construction worker. And your project just reminded me of that. So thank you for sharing and thank you for thinking through that. So as we close out this afternoon, and I'm sorry we can't hear from everyone, I have something that I really, really want to share with you today. And it's my last slide because this is going to be your takeaway. What is it that you will do once you get back to your school site? So you had a chance to work in a group and to develop a plan as it relates to getting the girls in your school intentional about their participation in STEAM project as they grow older, as they enter into the middle or the high school era, and then into colleges. So I have a project that I want to share with you as in terms of a timeline as to what can be done as you think about building that project that it involve girls within your school in your STEAM or your STEM project. So one of the things you have to do in your first section of the developing your plan is to think through, what do we have? So talk to the girls and talk to them about what are they interested in and what are some of the barriers that are preventing them from doing well or moving into a STEM or a STEAM project. And that should take you somewhere between 1 or 2 months, where you look for those champions too, those teachers. You look for champions in your community. Now you can look in your school and for your administrators and your teachers who will be champions of STEM or STEAM within your school. As you get to month 3 or 4, and you can go ahead and take a picture of this screen because it might be valuable to you as you go back to your schools. You want to start building that foundation. Launch an after-school STEM club for girls. Invite 2 female STEM speakers to come in and talk. Apply for community grants. Some of you talk about the bank. Some of you talk about the companies that supplies the drink. What are those resources in your community that you can use? I know one of the groups spoke about the parents. The parents are resourceful people too. So we want to make sure that we're involving them in these processes. And as you look at growing your project, you want to partner with a local tech company, and some of them might be able to provide you with some technical support in terms of what you may need to get your project off the ground. Create a student STEM showcase so that the students can show off what they have learned. When I was a second grade teacher, I had a mosaic garden. You know what a mosaic is? It's pieces of items put together to complete a picture. And we use tiles, broken tiles, to put together to make a garden. And in between the tiles, we planted vegetables so that people could eat it and we could share it. It looks beautiful and it was edible. Establish peer mentoring. I spoke about this last night. Maybe someone in the 5th grade can work with a kid in the 4th grade or in the 1st grade as they help to develop their project. So you have one girl strengthening the other girl. And as you go through, I want to encourage you to track your participation, track your outcomes. What are the successes? What are the things that didn't go too well that you might need to address? But as you look, you're looking at it with an open mind, with the opportunities to develop, to recharge, to change, and to make your project as successful as possible. This evening, my challenge to you is to go out there and make our girls into STEM believers and STEM doers. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Demetrius, that was phenomenal, phenomenal. Thank you so much. And thank
You're
you,
welcome.
the group that I participated in, they were so involved. I'm sorry they were having a problem because they talked about creating an electronic library. And they're going to do the architecture, reconfigure the library, and using up resources they have, take down those shelves and use shelves to create tables. And you know, it was such a, it was just great to hear them. And Dr. Dice, I'm just hoping that we really need to advertise and promote this particular presentation, because the way Dr. Demetrius delivered it, it shows us that all we need to do is to be a little more intentional in what we do. Remember, if you'd like to get your certificate, you just I think costs $5. You just go online. When you registered, you would see the prompting. So we're not charging, but just for us to defray the cost of preparing the certificates, professional development certificates, you want to do that on our behalf. Dr. Dice, I'm turning back to you. I know you want to get off here to enjoy beautiful Jamaica. So
I'm
I turn over
jealous.
to you.
No,
Back to
it's
you at
all
this
business.
time.
It's all business. Don't be jealous, Dr. Sharian. It's all business. I'm rushing it through this. It's crazy. The week is crazy. But anyway, everyone, Dr. Noel Garn, I can't even thank you enough. And Dr. Sharian, oh my God, I enjoyed it in the background here much, much more than anybody else on this. I love it. We really have
Thank
to
you,
get you
sir.
on to do some serious work with us here. Everyone, please, you fill out the end of workshop survey there and you can get your certificate. And also, as Dr. Noel said, we have to get some money here to offset the cost of these things. Are very expensive, and a little bit of what you do, because we're not charging you for anything, a little bit of what you do will help to offset the cost. The other thing is, we have for school leaders on any level the Transforming School Leadership series, and we have done Grounded 1 already, Grounded phase 1, and we have Grounded part 2 starting on April 9th. And we sent emails. At the bottom of your emails, you will see links to Transforming School Leadership series. Grounded part 2 is on May 9th to June 26th. It's every Thursday at 6:30 Eastern Daylight Time. And if you are not in attendance for 1 or so week, then you, or even if you're in attendance, you will get the recording, because we record that and we're very serious about the recording for that 1 hour. It's very precious. And you get a chance to mix and mingle with other school leaders across the Caribbean. I think we have one person on here, Lydia. Lydia, are you still on here? You want to tell just briefly some of the things that you're learning in there and sharing with other people. If you're still here, just say, yes, I am here.
Yes, Dr. Dyson.
So Lydia is
Hi,
a principal
everyone. Good
in St.
evening.
Lucia.
So
Yes.
yes, the
Just
workshops
share
are
very quickly how
yeah,
the
the
program
workshops
is
are
going.
very interesting. So we look at we did do the SWOT analysis. We looked at the stakeholder, our key stakeholders, other resources, what we need to do as being our main goal is our student learning, and things around that really make our jobs more interesting, not just for us, but for our students who are our key stakeholder in all of this. So it's very interesting. And I have signed up for the second part, so I'm looking forward to it. Dr. Dice, I think you said 9th of May, isn't it 9th of April?
9th of April, yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yes. It's my old age getting at me. Yes, yes. No, well, don't say anything. So sign up. You got it in your email. Sign up and become a part of us a little bit more. Every week we spend 1 hour and going through some serious thing, different types of leadership approaches and how that gel with your approach with culture and policy and practice, and you share with other school leaders your practice as well. So that's that. And then you have the first part though of transforming school leadership is going to happen every year. We're trying to get it online so you can do it at self-paced. You don't have to wait on us. But we have a session coming up in July and then one other one in August for you to become a part of it. So you can be a part of it. Look on our network and you'll see it. Thank you so much. We have a session, other sessions coming up in April.
School improvement.
Right. Right, school improvement, and also Dr. Noel and I, we formulated a series for classroom management and behavior and discipline and so on. We have that coming up. It's called Connection Before
Just want to
Correction.
say that it's not the usual stuff,
No, it's not the usual stuff. So you have that too. So look out for us and write to us. We want to hear from you in email. Write to us at edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. Or the other one, which is admin@educationsolutionsinternational.org. That one is a long one, and we want to keep it like that because it's a company name. So write to us and let us know what you're doing. If you need professional development in your school, if you need culture, if you need help with anything, write to us. SWOT analysis, as Lydia said. Also, the climate survey. Many of us are not doing surveys in our school to find out how people are doing, how your students are doing, how your parents are doing, how your business community, how your community around your school is doing. You need help with that. Write to us and talk to us about it and we can help. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Dr. Sharon, we will connect.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's the goat.
Go away, Noel.
That's the good goat.
Yeah.
All
Have a
right.
good night.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Take care.